Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today I am building a family home for a family that has twin children. They each have slightly different personalities and have their own separate rooms, but that's what this build ended up to be. I actually didn't really know who it was going to be for when I started building this. I did build this over on Twitch last week. I do stream a few days a week over on twitch.tv/MissGryphi if you'd like to join us. And the really exciting thing about this build is it's only using the base game. I was really in the mood to build something just using the Sims 4 base game, so that was the concept going into this stream. And I'm very happy with how this house came out. I also sort of had a shape in mind, which you can kind of see. This is a common shape of house that is around the area I live. I do live in New England, which is what Brindleton Bay is based off of. Obviously, I'm not building in that world as that came with the Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, and this is purely a base game build. But this house could fit really well in that world if you do have it. But I thought it'd be fun to do something in this style in, I believe we're building in Willow Creek. I sometimes get Willow Creek and Newcrest confused, but I'm pretty sure this is Willow Creek. And this is the general shape I'm going to be going for here, and I'm just playing around with the windows. I was very indecisive with the windows, but I did figure it out in the end. I was thinking originally it would be nice to have windows kind of far apart on the top level because that's what I see a lot in real life. I do end up changing that a little bit later on though, and we also end up having only one garage. It was a lot of fiddling and experimenting, and I think it came out really cool in the end. I believe this is a 3-bedroom house. And it comes in at 85,735 simoleons. So, you know what? Take that with what you will. I'm not sure if that's a good price or not. I have a lot of difficulty figuring out what's a good price outside of like what's a starter home. So, you know, but it is 85K. So that is the total price. I will be changing these windows. I, of course, am going with base game windows because I only have the base game installed for this build, but I decided to go for ones that don't have as many like panes in the window because I thought it was a little bit too busy. I wanted something that was a little cleaner, so I will be changing that here shortly. I'm also going to be putting the bottom floor up on a platform, so the door there is going to clip a little bit into the top floor, but that's not apparent on the inside, and on the outside I thought it looked fine. And here I am deciding I'd prefer the house to be green than the garage door to be green, and I love this color of green siding that I used here. I wanted to pair it with a brick. I ended up switching that for like a gray brick in the end, which I think looks really nice, and then we're going to change the roof color as well. It did take a little while to get to this color scheme in the end, but I really like it. I think it looks very friendly and happy and cute, and I'm really happy with it actually. Part of me kind of wishes that I kept the shutters that you see on the front of the build. I didn't end up keeping them in the end, but looking at this now, I think it looks pretty cute. But I opted to go for these instead, which are just like simpler windows because I just felt like it looked a little bit too busy. So I wanted to change that up a little bit. So just figuring that out now and then getting some landscaping here. I will be also adding a flower box back to those front windows above the garage. I just got rid of them for a little bit and forgot, and there they are back. I also decided to add one of these pink trees that are very common in Willow Creek. I almost never use them because I'm not a huge fan of them, but having one here to tie it into the background of the world I thought looked pretty nice. And then I'm just using a couple of these stones, not really to act as a walkway this way, or like this time. Usually that's what I use them for, but I wanted them to sort of frame in where I had all of the plants here just as a little bit of extra decoration. I think it looks quite cute. And then getting some terrain paint around the space. I also added a car out front, and we have some monkey bars, and then we're heading on inside to figure out the floor plan. This one did take a while, but I think this is one of my favorite floor plans that I've ever done. It feels so incredibly realistic. You'll see what I mean in a little bit when we get to it, because even after I figure out a floor plan, it's still pretty awkward for a while. It's not till towards like the end or middle-ish of furnishing that I really figure it out. And I feel like it has a really good flow because at first there's a super awkward hallway and it's really narrow and weird shaped rooms, but it worked out very well in the end. So I'm excited for you to see that. But this is going to be where the kitchen and the dining spaces are. I do keep these in the same spot. I just change around some of the walls. and there ends up being an archway into one of them. And then upstairs here, you can see where I'm planning out all of the bedrooms. And yeah, upstairs is where the primary bedroom is and both of the twins' bedrooms. And then downstairs, we have like a garage space, living, kitchen, dining, bathroom. There's also a bathroom upstairs. So it's a pretty good sized house. And even just what we have right now, before I added all of like the archways and figured out the floor plan a little bit more, I really like the placement of this kitchen, having this nice big window in the kitchen, and it's sort of a U shape, so the island goes a little bit into the dining room. I wasn't really thinking of that as a space that your Sims would probably sit at much. I just thought it looked nice like that, so that is what I did. I also added a table in the middle of the kitchen to act as like a decorative island, and got a coffee machine, a corkboard. I'm using the new cactus that came in an SDX drop a couple of weeks ago, and then just getting some utensils by the stove, and then we're moving on into the dining room. I decided to put a fireplace over here because that is where the chimney is on the outside of the build, and I didn't really follow exactly where that was, so it's a little bit over. But because of that, I thought it was important to have a fireplace in here. I believe I also add one in the living room, so there's a couple of them in this build. And then I was trying to figure out what to do with the wallpaper and the curtains in here, because I love those curtains that are originally added when we got toddlers, I'm pretty sure. But these base game curtains, they're so pretty. And a lot of the colors are hard to use. So I ended up painting the wall so I could keep the curtains white, but still add a little bit of color into this space. And then I decided to add these lights throughout the house to look a little bit more put together, because I tend to just leave the saucer lights all over the house, and I still did in parts of this home. I just really like how they light up the space, and they seem really simple and not in the way, so I tend to do that. I also decided to add a little cabinet here. I can't remember if I kept that there or moved it, because I did consider that for a while, but I think I left it there. And then I'm just getting doors into all of the rooms so I don't forget to do that, and getting some fencing upstairs so your Sims don't fall. And this is where I'm trying to figure out the best way to move this around and make it seem a little bit more like it has a better flow. So I moved the bathroom to the back of the house, added an archway that heads on into the dining room so you could go that way. We have a little closet here in the front. I just made a 2x1 room and added some doors to it. I'm going to be adding some like clothes in there now. But I was just trying to figure out the space so that the entryway didn't seem as awkward. And then we're popping outside to fence out a little backyard space, which I will be adding onto and like furnishing later. I just wanted to do that while I was thinking about it. And now we are inside working on the main living room. I was really trying to have a couch and chairs in here, but I really didn't like how it was looking. So I'm pretty sure I ended up putting two of those couches together in the end to make sort of an L shape or a sectional sofa, because nothing was working the way I wanted it to. I really don't like the armchairs in base game. A lot of the other stuff, like this couch in particular, is still one of my favorite couches in the game, and it is base game, but a lot of the armchairs I'm just not a big fan of. So it did take a while to figure that out, especially because this one is the same style as the sofa, but it's not the same swatch. I would really like some more swatches added to some more base game stuff. I know they went back and added more swatches to a lot of items, including all of the doors and windows, but there's still some base game items that I think could use some more swatches at some point in time. Speaking of updates though, let me know what everyone's thinking of the new update that came out today. We finally have customizable pronouns in The Sims 4. I am so excited about this. It's currently only available in English, as there were some like hiccups on trying to figure it out for other languages, as a lot of languages are incredibly gendered in their like adjectives, like the whole language, not just pronouns. So there was a little bit of a delay on that. So they wanted to at least get it out in English first. But I believe I read that they figured out how they're going to be doing that. So it should be coming out at some point for other languages as well, because they figured out a solution to that. But I'm so excited to be able to have pronoun options in The Sims. You can pick defaults of she, her, he, him, or they, them, or you can customize it to be whatever you want. You can use neo-pronouns. You can make it so it's like half and half. I know I personally use she, they pronouns, so it's really nice to have the option to fully customize that for your Sims. So I'm really excited. So I just thought I would mention that. Let me know if you are excited as well. I think it's long overdue, and I'm just so happy that it is here. Anyway, this is the garage space. I just have a lot of clutter in there, as well as a treadmill and a woodworking table. And then in the main entryway, I just have a little desk space because I didn't really have a dedicated office in this build. I just thought that it would be nice to make sure I had a computer. I think I also had one in one of the kids' rooms, potentially. I can't remember, but I thought it would be nice to have a place for your Sims to actually sit down and have a computer. I also decided to put the elements collection in the garage. At first, I had like a pie chart thing in there as just a decoration, but I thought it would be nicer to have the elements collection. So if your Sims actually want to work on that, it's a functional gameplay item that they can use. Anyway, we are upstairs now. I already decorated the bathroom up here because I often will only show one on camera because they're really repetitive. But the only difference up here is there's a tub and a shower. That's just kind of how the layout worked, and it looked a little bit nicer that way. But we're starting here on the primary bedroom. It's very green. This is one of my favorite base game beds for like double beds. I just think it's a really realistic bed frame, and it's a little bit more neutral in some of the colors it has. So I quite enjoyed having that in here. And then we're just trying to figure out a closet. I also added a chair. We bumped it out a little bit further over on this side as well to get a dresser and a standing mirror. And we'll just get a couple more decorations in here, and that'll be it for the primary bedroom. I think the most fun was the kids' rooms, which is how we were like, okay, maybe we have twins and they have 2 different personalities. So I ended up having one kid that's really into music and one kid that is really into sports. And I really enjoyed that. I feel like there are some really cool bedspreads in the game that help kind of differentiate or guide you in what sort of interests the Sims might have. I would like to have more of these things, but in the base game we do have this one, and then there is the other bed that I'm going to use in the other room that came from Parenthood originally, but then was patched into base game when we got bunk beds. And it has some really cool swatches on it. And one of them has like sports stuff on it. I want to say it's baseballs. We'll have to see when we pop over there. But I definitely used inspiration of these two to figure out what personalities I wanted to use in these rooms. And I used Tool in here as well to rotate the poster a little bit so it wasn't so crooked on the wall. I've been really into using Tool lately. Nothing major really, just like lowering things or rotating them ever so slightly. I think it's very helpful to have or sizing things up a little bit. Because you can size them up with your with the keys on your keyboard without having a Tool, but it does limit it to the current size or like double the size. So it's nice to be able to ever so slightly scale something up or down if you prefer to do that. So I've been doing that a lot. But this is pretty much it for this particular bedroom. We're just getting a dresser. Yeah, this one does have a laptop in it as well, like I had mentioned. And yeah, I think it has everything you would need. I think it's a pretty cute room. I like the orange and the blue together. I think that's a really nice color scheme. I was just trying to figure out what else I could add in here because I felt like the dresser looked a little bit empty. So I'm just scrolling through everything and trying to figure it out and finding things that I think will work better for the other room. But I ended up just putting a pile of books over here as well as this pile of junk. And I think I might have gotten some lotions in here as well. Yeah, I was looking forever for those. For some reason I couldn't find them. But anyway, we're into the other kids' room, the other twins' room. I was thinking these were like young teenagers, probably kids/teens, somewhere in that tween area. So they were into sports. I was right. That is a baseball bed. And then I have some other sports posters on the wall. I was thinking the sim was a little bit messier as well. So I have some clothes on the floor. We have a nice little bookcase over there. I got the pile of sports equipment. And we're just going to get some more posters. There's this one of soccer. We got a little mirror over the bookcase in here as well. Getting one of those dressers from base game and a desk in here as well. I think it's so nice to add desks to kid and teen rooms. I never had one when I was a child or a teenager, but I always wished I did. So it's something I definitely like to add, and I feel like it helps differentiate who the room is for. The age range makes a little bit more sense. But anyway, we're in the backyard now. I'm just getting some more landscaping. We have a nice tree out here, and then trying to figure out where I could have a decking space based on where these tiles lay down because I think they look really nice. I just wanted to make sure that there were full squares and not any half squares, if that makes sense. And we got a barbecue out here, some planter boxes, a place to dine, and that's pretty much it for this build. We're just going to add a couple more places to sit outside and finish up the landscaping, and then we'll be heading on into screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this build. I had a lot of fun with this one. Like I said, I built it over on Twitch. Feel free to join us anytime for some more builds over there. I would love to see you, and yeah, enjoy the screenshots. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.